Alright, so the fourth Avengers Doomsday trailer just leaked online, and I need to talk about it right now because holy shit, this might actually be good. I know. I've been burned by Marvel so many times at this point that I should know better than to get my hopes up. Okay, first things first, Shuri's new Black Panther suit, absolutely incredible. I'm talking gold and blue, perfectly balanced, chef's kiss level of costume design. This is what I'm talking about when I say Marvel needs to commit to the comic book aesthetic. This suit looks like it was ripped straight out of the source material and brought to life, and I am here for it. And can we talk about the fact that she's just casually walking through a desert in this thing? Like, where is she going? What is she doing? Why is she alone? We'll get to that in a second, but just from a purely aesthetic standpoint, this suit is a massive win for Marvel's costume department. So the trailer opens with Shuri saying, "I've lost everyone that matters to me, and I'm sorry," but that's kind of hilarious when you think about it. Because like 5 seconds later in the trailer, we see her walking with M'Baku, which means she's basically just standing there like, "I've lost everyone," while M'Baku is right next to her probably thinking, "Am I a joke to you?" But jokes aside, this is actually a really important character moment for Shuri. She's lost T'Challa, her brother, who was the original Black Panther. She's lost her mother, Queen Ramonda, who died in Wakanda forever. She's lost a bunch of other people in the attack from Talokan. This woman has been through absolute hell, and you can see it in her face in this trailer. She looks tired. She looks angry. She looks like she's been carrying the weight of an entire nation on her shoulders, which, to be fair, she has been. And I think this is going to be a really interesting angle for her character in Doomsday. Because up until now, Shuri has been the tech genius, the princess, the little sister. But now she's the Black Panther. She's the leader. She's the one who has to make the impossible decisions. And based on what we see in this trailer, those decisions are about to get a whole lot harder. The fact that they're opening the trailer with this line tells me that Shuri's emotional state is going to be a huge part of this movie. She's not just fighting to save the world. She's fighting because she has nothing left to lose. And that's when characters become the most dangerous. Also, M'Baku, my man, I'm sorry she said that about you. You deserve better. You're clearly still around and you matter. Don't let her gaslight you like that. All right, so this is where things start to get really interesting. We see the entire Talokan army on the surface, not just a few soldiers. The entire army. And they're standing in front of this massive temple that looks like it might have been underwater at some point, but is now just on land in the desert. Now, I don't know if this is because of the incursion stuff that we'll talk about later, or if they just decided to bring their whole city to the surface, but either way, it looks absolutely incredible. The scale of it is just insane. We're talking hundreds, maybe thousands of Talokan warriors all lined up and ready for war. And here's what I love about this shot. It doesn't feel like a CGI mess. It feels real. It feels like they actually put effort into making this look good instead of just throwing a bunch of digital effects at the screen and calling it a day. The temple in the background looks detailed, the warriors look distinct, everything about this shot just works. But what's really interesting to me is the fact that the Talokan people are even there in the first place. Because if you remember how Wakanda forever ended, things were tense between Wakanda and Talokan. Like, they made peace, but it was a very fragile peace. So the fact that they're now working together, that they've brought their entire army to help fight whatever threat is coming, that tells me that whatever is about to happen is so catastrophically bad that old grudges don't matter anymore. This is some "the enemy of my enemy is my friend" type stuff, and I am absolutely here for it. Wakanda and Talokan teaming up to fight a common threat? That's the kind of crossover content I've been waiting for. Just please, Marvel, don't waste this setup. Don't let this be another situation where you build up something amazing and then don't deliver on it. Okay, this shot right here might be one of the most important shots in the entire trailer, and I don't think people are talking about it enough. We see Namor sitting on his throne, and he looks absolutely terrified. Not concerned, not worried, terrified, and then he looks up at the sky like he's expecting something horrible to happen. Now here's why this matters. Namor is not a character who scares easily. This is a man who literally declared war on the most technologically advanced nation on Earth and almost won. This is a man who has lived for centuries and has seen everything. So if he's scared, if he's looking up at the sky with that level of concern on his face, then we should all be very, very worried about what's coming. And based on what we know about the plot of Doomsday, I think Namor is looking up because he knows the incursion is coming. He knows that another Earth is about to collide with theirs. He knows that the sky is literally about to split open and an entire universe is going to come crashing down on them. And there's nothing he can do about it. This is the kind of storytelling I've been waiting for from the MCU. Give me characters who are genuinely afraid of the threat they're facing. Give me stakes that feel real. Give me a villain who's so powerful that even the most confident heroes are questioning whether they can win. If the rest of Doomsday delivers on the promise of this one shot, we might actually be looking at something special here. But again, I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much. We're so back. It's so over. Back and forth. You know the drill by now. So apparently, Wakanda and Talokan didn't just form an alliance. They went full matching outfit mode, and I am absolutely living for it. We see M'Baku and other Wakandan warriors with these new suits that have blue accents running through them, and it looks sick as hell. Now, the theory is that this blue material came from Talokan. Maybe it's a special type of vibranium that they have underwater. Maybe it's some other Talokan technology that they're sharing with Wakanda as a sign of their alliance. Either way, it looks really cool, and I love the idea of these two nations combining their resources to create something new. This is the kind of world building that the MCU needs more of. Show us how these different cultures interact with each other. Show us how they share technology and learn from each other. Don't just tell us that they're allies now. Show us what that alliance actually looks like in practice. And from a purely aesthetic standpoint, these new suits are just gorgeous. The combination of Wakandan technology with Talokan elements creates this really unique look that we haven't seen before in the MCU. It's giving me, we're about to go to war and we're going to look amazing doing it energy, and I am absolutely here for it. The only thing I'm worried about is whether or not these suits actually do anything special or if they're just for show. Because Marvel has a bad habit of giving characters really cool looking suits and then not actually having them serve any purpose in the story. So I'm really hoping that the blue accents aren't just decorative. I'm hoping they actually enhance the suits in some way and play into the larger story, but even if they don't, at least they look cool, and sometimes that's enough. Alright, so we get this really fun moment in the trailer where M'Baku walks up to Ben Grimm and introduces himself by saying, "M'Baku of Wakanda extends his hand," and then Ben responds with "Ben, Fancy Street between Broome and Grand." And I have to say, I actually really love this moment. When I first heard about it, I thought it was going to be cringe. I thought it was going to be one of those forced Marvel humor moments that just doesn't land. But seeing it in the actual trailer, it works. It genuinely works. There's something really charming about the contrast between M'Baku's very formal, regal introduction and Ben's very casual, street-level response. It shows the difference between these two characters and these two worlds, but it does it in a way that feels natural instead of forced. And honestly, this gives me a lot of hope for how the Fantastic Four are going to be integrated into the larger MCU. Because one of my biggest concerns with the Fantastic Four movie was that they were going to feel separate from everything else. Like they were going to exist in their own little bubble and not really interact with the rest of the universe in a meaningful way. But this trailer is showing us that they're going to be a part of the larger story. They're going to interact with the other heroes. They're going to have these character moments with people from different corners of the MCU, and that's exactly what I wanted to see. If the rest of the movie has this same energy where different characters from different worlds are coming together and actually having meaningful interactions, then I think we're in for something really special. So at the end of the trailer, we see Shuri getting into a ship. And this is actually really important because it confirms something that fans have been speculating about for a while now. There was a leaked photo a while back that showed what looked like the interior of a ship with several characters in it, including U.S. Agent John Walker, possibly another member of the Fantastic Four, and what people thought might be Shuri's foot in the corner of the frame. And now we're seeing that, yeah, that photo was real. Shuri is getting into a ship with a bunch of other heroes, and they're all going somewhere together, which means we're about to see the new Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the Thunderbolts, the Wakandans, and possibly the X-Men all working together in one massive team up. This is the moment, you guys. This is what the MCU has been building toward For years, we're finally getting to see all of these different teams and characters come together in one story. And it's not just for a quick cameo or a post-credit scene, they're actually working together. They're actually forming a cohesive unit to fight a common threat. And I cannot tell you how excited that makes me. Because for the longest time, the MCU has felt really disconnected. We've had all these different shows and movies happening at the same time, but they never really felt like they were building toward anything. But now it feels like everything is finally coming together. Please, Marvel, don't mess this up. You have all the pieces in place. You have all the characters people want to see. Just give us a good story and let these characters shine. Okay, so let's talk about the actual plot of this movie, because this is where things get really interesting and also really complicated. The main threat in Avengers Doomsday isn't just Doctor Doom, it's an incursion. For those of you who don't know, an incursion is when two universes collide with each other. Specifically, in the comics at least, it's when two Earths from different universes are on a collision course, and if they collide, both universes get destroyed. The only way to stop it is to destroy one of the Earths before the collision happens, which is, extremely messed up and creates all kinds of moral dilemmas. And apparently this is what's happening in Doomsday. According to the leaks and rumors, Shuri discovers that an incursion is coming for Earth 616. She then works with Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and Beast from the X-Men universe to create some kind of countdown device that tracks when the incursion is going to happen. This is huge, you guys. This is the kind of cosmic level threat that the MCU has been building toward since Loki introduced us to the multiverse. And it's terrifying because there's no easy solution. You can't just punch your way out of this problem. You can't just come up with some clever plan to defeat the villain. The universe itself is ending, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop it. Well, unless you're Doctor Doom, apparently. Because in the comics, Doom is the one who finds a way to save something from the destruction and creates Battleworld. But we'll get to that when Secret Wars comes out. For now, I just want to appreciate the fact that Marvel is actually going there. They're doing the incursion storyline. They're adapting one of the most insane comic book events of all time. And if they pull it off, this could be one of the best MCU movies ever made. If. That's a very big if. So here's where everything comes together. We know that Doctor Doom is involved in this movie somehow. We know that the Fantastic Four are coming from another universe. We know that an incursion is happening, and we know that both the Wakandan and Talokan armies are preparing for war, which leads me to believe that there's going to be a massive battle at Wakanda. And I don't mean a small skirmish, I mean a full-scale, end-of-the-world type battle with armies from multiple universes all fighting each other. Based on what we've seen in this trailer, it looks like the heroes are preparing for an attack. Both armies are lined up and ready. Namor is looking up at the sky expecting something to come down. Everything about this setup screams there's about to be the biggest battle we've ever seen in the MCU. And here's what makes it even more interesting. In the comics, when an incursion happens, the people from the other Earth sometimes try to destroy your Earth to save their own universe, which means the heroes might not be fighting Doctor Doom's army. They might be fighting other heroes from another universe who are just trying to survive. How insane would that be? Imagine the Avengers having to fight another version of the Avengers. Imagine Wakanda having to defend itself against another version of Wakanda from a different universe. That's the kind of morally complex storytelling that the MCU has been missing for years. And based on the scale of what we're seeing in this trailer, I think that's exactly what we're getting. Marvel is going big with this one. They're not holding back. They're giving us the full cosmic spectacle, and I am so ready for it, as long as they don't waste it all on CGI nonsense. Please, Marvel, don't let me down. So here's the thing that's both exciting and frustrating at the same time. This is only the 4th trailer. There are apparently 3 more trailers that have already been rated and registered, which means we're going to be seeing a lot more footage from this movie before it actually comes out. And on one hand, that's great because I want to see more. I want to know what's happening. I want to see how all of these pieces fit together. But on the other hand, Marvel has a really bad habit of showing way too much in their trailers. Like, remember the Spider-Man No Way Home marketing where they just refused to show Tobey and Andrew, and it made the movie so much better when they finally appeared? Yeah, I want more of that. And apparently, we're not going to get our first official look at Doctor Doom until the Super Bowl, which is both the smartest and most frustrating decision Marvel has ever made. Because on one hand, yes, keep the main villain a secret, build up the hype, make people desperate to see him. But on the other hand, I need to see Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Right now, I know I've said multiple times that I don't like the casting. I know I think they should have cast someone else. But I'm only human, okay? I'm not immune to hype and nostalgia and the promise of seeing one of the greatest actors of our generation play one of the greatest villains in comic book history. Just show me the mask, Marvel, please. I'm begging you. We're so close to the Super Bowl. I can wait. I think, maybe, probably not. Just release the trailer already. Look, I went into this trailer expecting to be disappointed. I thought after the X-Men trailer, which was genuinely incredible by the way, this Doomsday trailer was going to feel underwhelming. But I was wrong. This trailer actually delivered. We got new suits, we got armies preparing for war, we got character moments, we got confirmation that the incursion storyline is real, and we got that perfect Ben Grimm introduction that I'm going to be thinking about for the next 6 months. Is this movie going to be good? I don't know. Marvel has burned me too many times for me to blindly trust them. But for the first time in a long time, I'm actually excited about an Avengers movie again. And that has to count for something, right? So yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought of this trailer. Are you as hyped as I am, or are you still skeptical? And most importantly, how long do you think it's going to take for Marvel's lawyers to take this video down? If you made it this far, you're a real one. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully before I get sued. Peace.